be open to new relationships and also just new ideas to allow you to grow both as a human being and as a man.
Welcome to episode 3 of The Inside Scoop. I'm your host, Luke Schwartz, and joining me today, professional lacrosse player Cole Kirst of Syracuse. And Cole, I gotta ask you to start off, what did you get today?
Well, it's a pleasure to be on Scoopin' with Schwartz. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm super thrilled to be here. I went with, after a hard and long decision, I went with the strawberries and cream in a small cup, and so far it tastes phenomenal.
3 weeks straight, gotta go with the watermelon gelati. It's a Harry Sweet Treats classic, and look, tradition never fails. Cole, my first real question for you, man. Instead of going back to the past, let's start with the present. 2 straight weeks, you're coming off incredible games in the PLL, something that, I don't know, maybe you've dreamed of your whole life, but walk me through the feeling of stepping onto the field for the first time wearing the Redwoods jersey.
Oh man, it's awesome. Just an incredible experience going to training camp. Well, being able to first get drafted and to witness that with my entire house here at Syracuse, and to have all of my family's support through text messages, phone calls, to have that was incredible. To look up to your 2 older brothers who play in the league. I've always wanted to play someday, whether it's professionally or with them in the next stages of at post-collegiate college or post-collegiate lacrosse. So being able to step foot in the locker room day 1 in Albany, part of the Redwoods lacrosse club, that was just so special to be around so many role models you've looked up to your entire life.
Well, speaking of role models, in your first game for the Redwoods, you assist Westberg. You got to play with a guy like Rob Pinnell. You got Ryder Garnsey, who just had 6 goals last week. What's it like playing with those guys?
No words, honestly, except just excitement. You smile when you're stretching with those guys. You smile when you're out to eat in the dining hall at Albany. Just to be around such great human beings off the field, and then better teammates on the field. That's what's so special, is everyone knows how talented the entire league is and how talented everyone is on the team. It's a matter of meshing and becoming a cohesive unit. And shout out to all the veterans on the squad who have allowed me to mesh in already and to kind of put their guard down to allow me to be myself and to be a teammate that can support, but also be an impact player if needed, and also just to mesh well with these guys. I'm just extremely grateful.
It's clear to see your mentality and the way your brain works. You're a team-oriented guy. You always put others before yourself, but I want you to be a little bit more selfish when it comes to this question. You come in and you dominate in that first game. You're trailing 6-0. Not only do you assist Westberg, but you have a beautiful nutmeg goal, and then you made a pro veteran guy look like a tiny child when you were bumping him before you turned and hit your second goal. What is it like scoring at that level, and what was the feeling like after you hit your first and then your second goal?
Well, it starts with just the first run out there. You have so much nerve, so much excitement. So that first shift at midfield, I was able to take a shot late in the shot clock out off of a pass from Jules Henningberg, who he played with my brother Colin in high school. So I've looked up to Jules when I was in middle school. So to have that pass from him, to take that open shot just late in the shot clock, to take a chance after that shot, I was thrilled. I came off the field, and even though it was a change of possession and a turnover on my end, I was like, wow, I can do it here. I can run around and I can play with these guys. And to have that entire game experience, just to have incredible moments, highs and lows when you're down. Who do you rely on? You rely on the veteran leadership. You rely on guys like Garrett Epple, Eddie Glazner, Rob Pinnell, who got the spark going for us on the offensive end, and then Jack Kelly made 19 saves in that game. T.D. Erlin was a warrior on the faceoff X. So all those guys in the locker room at halftime provided that spark to go out there and make a play. And that was just the exciting part about the second half, was everyone was focused on just making the next one regardless of the score. And that allowed me to just play with some freedom and to go out there and make a play.
Loose ball, Kirst, welcome to the pros. Anthony Kirst playing pro lacrosse. And Kirst makes the play, finding Westberg. He never gave up on the play.
When it comes to the NFL, guys are going to do celebrations when they score a touchdown in the end zone, whether that's rubbing their hands together, doing the gritty. I feel like you've always had that celebration. There's a photo of you from Syracuse doing it after you scored that first goal. Where does that originate from?
I was fist pumping. That originates just from the NHL, just playing the video game and idolizing guys like Alex Ovechkin who get so fired up when they score. And not only by themselves, they have that moment of just this out-of-body experience, but also with their teammates. Kind of when you take a shot and you see it at the back of the net, it's an exciting part of the game. That's what you work towards all week in order for that moment to happen. So when that does, you have this out-of-body experience, this special moment, but then you look at your teammates and you're like, let's go. Like, you have that just feeling, and your helmets hit your teammate's helmet, and you're just able to just share that moment, all 6 helmets on the offensive end in one huddle, talking about that moment, talking about that play, what allowed that to happen. Was it a pass? Was it a feed? Was it a great dodge? Was it an hockey assist, pretty much a pass that led to an opportunity to make that happen, to make that shot happen? So it's just an entirely out-of-body, passionate, energized experience that you're able to share. And I just love celebrating with my teammates out on the field and as a unit.
Do what you love what you do, and I feel like that is the motto for you, my friend. When it comes to this sport, it's
I appreciate
clearly
that.
Your love, and your eyes light up. You got a big smile from chin to chin, basically. Where did that love for the game start growing up?
Thank you. It starts with our dad playing at Rutgers University, being introduced to the sport at a young age. He's from Huntington, New York, on Long Island, so for him to come to Rutgers and play and meet my mom and start a family, to have a lacrosse stick in our hands from the first time we were able to walk, that was just an experience we were able to share with my dad, especially as a high school teacher and coach. So to have that experience with not only him, but also our brothers being water boys, the teams that he coached, and have his experience coach our own youth teams growing up, and then to build friendships with people in our entire grade through Bernardsville and through Somerset Hills athletics. I mean, lacrosse was always just a passion from the beginning, and it's just awesome to continue to play and share that with my family and also with my friends and teammates.
Speaking of your dad, like what's a lesson that you learned from him in terms of maybe not lacrosse, but in life that you carry with you today before you take the field or before you go into the classroom or anything in your day-to-day? Definitely
energy and effort, and that's something that I've started to, as I've continued to mature and grow as a person and teammate, controlling what you can control in regards to your energy and effort. That's something that my dad would always preach as a youth coach and also as a high school coach, and I didn't really understand what that entirely meant until I started to grow as a student athlete in college, because there's going to be days when you have a great day, but you also might have a really poor day. But how do you get through those times when they're really high or really low? And that's controlling your attitude, your effort, and your energy. And that's something I've always tried to take away and try to continue to remind myself is that that's something I can control no matter the situation. And that's something that I look to improve upon going forward in life.
That's amazing. And what's really cool about that too is when you said energy and effort, I thought you were about to say positivity too, because I swear to you, man, if you were hit by a train, if you were hit by a train tomorrow, you'd bounce off it and you'd be like, hey, what's good, everybody?
I think I would have one arm, but I'd still be like, holy cow,
you'd still come into class,
that hurt.
You'd still be smiling, and you'd just be grinning, and you'd have this great attitude. Like, cool, how are you alive? You're like, hey, it's another day, man, just living basically.
You too.
How do you have that constant positivity? I feel like nothing shakes you.
Surrounding yourself with great people like yourself, being around a community like Syracuse where you're able to share similar interests but also have different interests, but to have people that are so open-minded and willing to hear your life story and to hear what you like and what you also dislike, that goes for the same on the field. And being treated the way you want to be treated is something that I think a lot of people I've been able to surround myself model their lives by. And that's something that I try to do as well in the future, and be open to new relationships and also just new ideas to allow you to grow both as a human being and as a man.
It's pretty impressive because I feel like I said, what you just had to say right there sums up everything, because from the summer to day one, you walked into Chris Tui's class a little bit late, and you're like, hey, what's good, everybody? You dapped him up, and you're like, hey, everybody, basically. Just like Marching to the beat of your own drum. But I think that's so important, though, because I feel like there's so many things in life that can throw you down and make you not want to get back up. But like I said, there's just nothing against you.
Well, hey, I appreciate you for remembering that. That was crazy times, but I mean, I remember meeting your family one of the first weekends out and how open you were, and just honestly explaining to the entire group just where you came from. I've never even heard of Whitworth, and now I know the entire athletic conference based off of your entire work and how creative you have been. And look at us. We're here at Harry's Sweet Treats, and that's because of you, because of the relationships you have built within the Syracuse community. And like you always say, West Coast, best coast, but I don't know. East Coast might be turning the tide for you. I don't know.
It's one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me, so thank you. But all right, you brought up my family. I got to bring up a story about yours.
Okay.
It's graduation weekend, and we're all walking across the stage, and I'm telling you, this is a big day for you. It's a big day for me, and you've put in all this work to be a broadcast and digital journalism major at Syracuse, and it should be a day about celebrating you and the accomplishments that you have done over these past, 9-10 months. We're walking up the stairs, everybody's talking about what plans they got, and I got the absolute privilege and pleasure of meeting your mom, and that was one, incredible, but two, I go, what are you guys doing to celebrate? What are you doing? And you go, we're actually heading in, going to the car, and we're gonna go watch my brother CJ play Michigan in the first round of the lacrosse playoffs. And I remember walking up the stairs and thinking, there is nobody that is more selfless than Cole Kirst for his own family. Where does that family bond come from? Because truly, that's a day that's all about you, and you weren't even thinking about yourself. You're like, I got to go watch my brother. And it didn't even take you a second to think about that. Where does that come from?
That starts from our parents, and thank you for bringing that up, because you would do the same thing, and how important it is to support one another. Whether it's a game's 8 hours away or not, just being able to support each other through any experience. And that's where it really stems from. And both being collegiate lacrosse players, our dream is to play in the NCAA tournament and win a national championship. And at Syracuse, we weren't able to get to that stage. So to have CJ be able to play a first round game against Michigan and to support him, which is only 50 minutes down the road from Syracuse, it was a no-brainer. And to be there with my mom, with my brother Caden, that moment was just so special, and just to be able to watch him every time I get fired up. And that's with all of my brothers, so that's just a moment that I'll never forget, being at that game and how crazy it was.
All right, a little bit of a topic change, but
okay,
I had to ask this because I'm a big fan of movies, and movie quotes make me the person that I am today. And I remember a long time ago, I heard that your favorite movie is How Do You Like Them Apples?
Oh, yeah.
Good Will Hunting.
Come on.
Do you remember the first time you watched it, and why is it your number one?
I can't. It had to have been in high school. It had to have been a day where I was just lying down on the couch. I had my laptop, and Netflix was open, and it just piqued my interest because of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and hearing about their story together growing up outside of Boston, in Boston, and how they're just such great friends, and how they were able to create this movie together, and then watching the trailer, and then you have Robin Williams, and just seeing both the blue collar attitude with the family atmosphere of the entire cast. It's still my favorite movie today.
Do you remember the last line from Robin?
Of course, how could you forget? It's obviously Ben Affleck coming up to the stoop to try and pick up Matt Damon, who was Will Hunting at the time, obviously, and opens up the letter and says, sorry, I had to go see about a girl.
I had to go see about a girl. Will. Son of a bitch. He stole my line.
Now, it is truly a fantastic movie, but when I heard that was your favorite, I was like, I gotta dig. I gotta know why, because but what's cool about that is when you hear interviews between Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, they were always trying to be actors, but they weren't getting any work. So they wrote that entire script so they could give themselves the opportunities to be actors. And it's like, look, that's talk about creating opportunities. And let's talk about one that you created for yourself. You play 4 incredible years at Lehigh, and then you come to Syracuse to be a part of one of the greatest grad programs in the nation for broadcasting. You weren't on the Syracuse team. You had to walk on. You had to work your butt off, and you created that opportunity. What was the experience like and the day-to-day process before you knew that you were going to be wearing orange and blue for the regular season?
The experience was awesome. Being able to have that conversation with the coaches, having that conversation, letting them know that I was going to start school months earlier, and to be able to have that opportunity to come out for the team. And from day one, they supported me and my entire process of studying broadcast and digital journalism. They had me day one with the team from the opening team meeting and being a part of the entire family. And I have nothing but thank you, nothing but kind words to say about the entire experience so far this past year, both athletically and academically. So to have that year to share on the athletic side with the academic side has just been so fulfilling, and it's just even better to be surrounded by so many great people and the entire coaching staff allowing me to have interests outside of lacrosse, to pursue broadcasting, digital journalism at times when it conflicted, to have that support from them, knowing that I was able to still work out and still train with the team and have a great balance of having that conversations with the coaches. They were just so open and so welcoming, and I have nothing but thanks to the entire athletic staff and also the academics, the academic professors, the students, because there's been times when there have conflicted both sides, but the professors were always so open to allow me to make up assignments remotely, and the students were able to support me throughout the entire season. So to have friendships that are on both sides, nothing but gratitude and thanks.
Well, I feel like they would like to thank you too, because not often do you have a guy walk in for 1 year and become a captain very quickly. When you found out that you were getting that C on your jersey this year, how did that feel?
It was special. It was special to be in the locker room at that time with so many incredible people, and to be named a captain with 4 other leaders of a unit of 5 with such great teammates and better people off the field, to have that experience shared and to hug every single person and saying, I'm going to give you my all this entire season as a leader. And to have that experience made me a better person and it made me a better man.
This year you had a lot of really incredible games for Syracuse. You have a hat trick against Duke, and you got interviewed, and you were a little bit upset because the team didn't get the win. Where does that mentality come from? Because most guys would be stoked, hey, I'm getting interviewed for ACC Network, but your mind was, we just lost the game.
I think a lot of guys throughout collegiate athletics, both on the men's and women's side, work extremely hard to win a championship. And that starts every single day in the fall when you arrive on campus all the way to the spring. So to have an opponent come into your home field and your home venue and to not able to get the victory, it's upsetting, but it's also motivating to try and get the next one. So you try to take a couple seconds to reflect, in a couple minutes, in a couple hours, and to reflect and try to improve upon that opportunity that you just had. And so in that moment, it was just time to reflect and to try and work with our teammates and to see what we need to do to improve in order to get the next one.
One, that's a great mentality. But 2, I just have to ask, we got to clear it up for everybody at home. You score the leading goal against Notre Dame in a packed dome, and you're pointing up at the stands. Who are you pointing at?
Okay, so thanks for bringing up that moment. No, so originally my best friends were able to come from high school. My friend group in high school they were all able to purchase an Airbnb for the weekend, and they saved some money up over the holidays, and they decided to make this trip happen, to take flights from the respective cities that they're all living in, and to come to the Notre Dame Syracuse game to watch our other high school teammates who were very close friends and our best friends, Griffin Westland and Brian Tevlin, play against each other, who we've all played with in high school. And so that experience alone was just an incredible weekend to share and to them support both sides of Brian Tevlin, Griffin Westland, and myself. And we were talking because Brian Tevlin and Griffin Westland for Notre Dame, they were in the hotel, so I was able to go to the house and just catch up with the guys that I haven't seen in months and just talk. And they're like, oh man, you got to give us something. You got to give us something out on the field. And I was like, all right, I'm going to be locked in, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll give you a point. And in the moment, I was just able to run to that side and give a point to him. And the even better part was just jumping with Pete Fiorini, Michael Page, and the entire sideline. And we celebrated as a whole. We mosh pitted together. And to go up by one, we felt the dome really light up. And it was an electric moment of my entire athletic career.
Now Kirst gets the step. Cole Kirst puts it home, and Syracuse leads for the first time today.
It was electric too, from a fan perspective, because at the time we thought you were pointing at a group of the BJ kids.
I can't lie to you guys. I could have easily said, you know what, you guys, you're right, but I didn't want to lie.
No, you're good. Lie. I needed the truth, but it was still cool to be there and watch. But it's funny. I can literally picture the image of post-game. There was a photo taken of you in front of the wall and a bunch of us that were there for the game. I'm wearing the exact same shirt as I'm wearing right now, but I just love that photo because it was just such a triumphant day. Despite the loss, it was really cool to see you go out there, do your thing and ball.
Well, thanks.
You got a lacrosse game to go watch, so I only got I think one more question for you, so you can get out of here basically. But aside from playing the sport that you love, you also are a BDJ graduate student that wants to go into broadcasting, and I know that you've looked up to a guy by the name of Eamon Mcananey.
Hey, you got it right, Eamon Mcananey.
And he used to call those Syracuse games, and he did his thing. Watching him growing up, and then also having opportunities to broadcast lacrosse, how excited are you for the future when once you're 47 and can't play anymore, so to speak, and you're up in the booth calling games?
Well, Eamon Mcananey is an incredible role model, and I can't believe that you brought him up because I try to stay in touch with him and try to send him my work, and he's been nothing but supportive and given me a lot of feedback as he's working for SNY as a sports anchor in New York. And to have his feedback and to learn and grow as an anchor throughout the newscast that we do, both sports, news, weather, just sending him as much work as I can as a role model, because when I was a middle schooler, I was turning on ESPNU College Lacrosse and I was hearing his voice. And that's something I've always looked up to and aspired to be in the shoes that he was, because he had such a unique style. He would go to the college campus and he would know the street that was the main street of each college campus, and he would use it throughout the entire game. Whether it was a fast break, he would use right down Marshall Street, right down Hempstead Turnpike, Hofstra. So
7 seconds for Reese. He's going to keep it. Right down Broad Street, he scores! The step goes right down Charles Street. Here comes Rafa. Right down Hempstead Turnpike. Double. Keeps coming. Kavanaugh. Ball game! Maddie just iced it for the Irish. And they're heading to Baltimore.
That's something that a lot of college lacrosse fans will remember him by. And speaking for myself, I miss him on the call as play-by-play, but to still stay in contact with him and knowing how of a successful career he's continuing to have, it's special just to consider him a friend and a colleague and someone I can aspire to be. But hopefully someday, later down the line, I can be able to call a couple games with yourself as we're calling college lacrosse and we're calling potentially championships throughout multiple sports. But that's the type of people that you want to surround yourself with as a career. And that's something that I've been able to learn and to grow and to continue just to aspire to dream, because everyone this year so far in this program and in this major has aspirations that are larger than life, and that they know that they're going to do it, and that they're the most confident people in the world. And that's something I want to strive to have the same mindset for.
Cole, I can confidently say I have zero doubt that you are going to be incredible in the future.
I was long-winded there. I'm sorry.
No. That's passion, and that's beautiful, and that's something that some kid that's watching lacrosse when he's growing up is going to go, Dad, Mom, I want to be just like Cole Kirst, because he makes me get excited and pumped up for the game and the sport that I love. And it's because you bring that energy, you bring the control what you can control, and you put in 110% effort. I've never seen a man work as hard as you do. Cole, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Inside Scoop.
I appreciate you. Scooping with Schwartz. I like scooping. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You seriously the man.
No, you are. Thank you.
You're epic. Guys, one of the best episodes we've had yet. Sorry about the lighting. This is the man called Kirst right here. Redwoods. Go get his jersey. Number 47. But I'm Luke Schwartz. He's Cole Kirst. This is the Inside Scoop here at Harry's Sweet Treats. Be sure to check him out at 1400 Burnett Avenue for the best ice cream. Wasn't that good?
Hey, amazing. Strawberries and cream in a small cup. Go get some.
Let's go. Watermelon gelati. Take care, guys. Let's go.
Thanks,
my
man.
guy.
Sorry, I gotta give you a better dap on that.
Oh,
Thank you,
good.
dude.
Dude, let's
That
go.
was smooth. No, you did some awesome research, man.